Is it ever okay for your child to quit in the middle of a game? That's the question I want to ask you guys. Is there a circumstance to where you will ever pull your child quits in the middle of a basketball game? So this is what happened to my our AAU team last week when they were playing out of town. Unfortunately, I did not get to go, but I want to share my thoughts on this. I think that the answer is yes. And I've talked about this previously before in another video, but only if this is the circumstance. If this is the circumstance, I don't think, with the exception of this one time that I'm going to name, not right now, but a little bit later, I don't think it's ever okay to pull your child in the middle of the game for them to quit from the team. Now, let me be clear. I don't mean like, oh, I got to pull them and I got to go somewhere else. No, I mean quit the team. And this is where I'm a coach, but I understand both sides of it because, I once was a player, and I will say that I am typically more like a player's coach. But so it's hard for me to side because I'm like, okay, I was once in their shoes. I have a brother who plays baseball in college now. And so it goes back and forth for me. And I'm going to do part two a little bit later on and get on to the coaches. But right here, I'm going to get on to the parents because make it make sense to me. And this is what I hate about this day and age that I've seen a ridiculous amount of times, and parents okay it. And it's not okay, in my opinion, for you to allow your child to quit on their team, on the coach, and on themselves in the middle of a game. We talk about we want to raise kids that are different. We don't want them to be a part of this soft generation. Parents say this all the time. And specifically, this parent in particular was talking about how we had a team meeting last week to where we just had a heart to heart. And he said, I enjoy the coach's tough coaching. He's an old school coach. Y'all not ready for that type of coaching. And then he proceeds to say, because I want to see if I got a puppy or a dog. But the following week, you allow your son to quit in the middle of the game. So this is what happened. This was a situation. So coach allows 3 mistakes before he pulls out everybody. Now I want you to be clear in this. It is not any exception to this rule. If you smoke a wide open layup, you coming out. That's you coming out. If you miss 2 free throws, you coming out. And I can't remember what the others are, but he gives you 3 mistakes before he pulls you out. Why does he do this? Because he's going to get in you. All right. It might come with tough love, or it might just come, hey, I just need you to regroup. And then he's going to put you right back out there. It never fails. And like I said, this is not some type of special rule, to if you're the best player on this team, then it doesn't apply to you. No, he literally does this with everybody. So this kid had made 3 mistakes in a row. So coach pulls him out. And he comes out. He's talking to him. And then all of a sudden, the kid is over there just like grabbing at his head and just, and he's doing all of this. And coach is really not paying attention. But he's like, man, what's going on? Because he's trying to pay attention in the game. And unfortunately, I'm his assistant coach, but I wasn't there, or I would have talked to him. But, and then all of a sudden, he looks and the kid is gone. And he's like, where did the kid go? And he had no idea that the parent had come and that the parent had taken the kid away from the tournament, which was out of town. I'm not sure where they went, but he quit the team. What is wrong with this? When coach told me this, I could not believe it, but I could believe it, unfortunately, because that's just the day and age that we live in. When parents bail out their kids, first of all, it wasn't anything that coach did. It was everything that the kid did. He didn't pull him out because, oh, I don't like it. No, it was his rule. 3 mistakes, you coming out, and I'm going to put you back in there. But in my opinion, this is teaching your child to quit. It's teaching them that if things are not going your way, it's not teaching any emotional intelligence. It's not teaching you how to deal with adversity, but it's saying that if you are going through a tough time, then I, as your daddy, I'm going to bail you out of it. I could understand if he even quit after the game, but during that game, you have a conversation with that coach after the game. Okay, I didn't agree with you pulling him for this, but in the middle of the game is crazy. You're literally teaching your child to quit. So you wonder why when they get a little bit older, or even now, why they quit on their schoolwork. You wonder why they quit, why they have a hard time listening to you, why they're quitting sports, why they're quitting these extracurricular activities, why they are quitting in their relationships, friendships, whatever the relationship, all of it falls under the same thing, because you are allowing them to. You are bailing them out. And I always say that sports is one of the best correlations to life. So if the way you handle adversity a lot of times in sports is the way that you will handle it in life. But I was highly disappointed in this parent because he allowed his son to quit. Like I said, it would have been different if he would have talked to coach after the game. But this is the importance too of you having emotional intelligence, and I mean, as a parent, because you don't want to pass that on to your kid. And then when they're 30 years old, they're quitting in life over and over again because you allowed them to quit when they were in 8th grade and you rescued them. And so there's a way that you handle everything. Now, in me saying that, I do believe that there is one time where you can pull your kid in a game. And I believe when the coach is humiliating your kid. My dad always used to say, and says to this day, people will only do what you allow them to do. So if a coach is humiliating your child, then I believe that it's okay to pull them in the middle of the game. So that's like belittling them. That is, it just can fall under a number of things. But yeah, I don't think you subject your child to that type of treatment, because you as a parent have a responsibility to protect your child, because if you don't, then no one else is. My brother went through this situation before and my mom pulled him in the middle of the game. And I was sitting there and I was like, this is straight embarrassing. And these boys were only 6th grade at the time. And just to drive my point further home, not only was that my mom thinks something of it, but parents from that school, our school, who my brother was playing for, they end up writing a letter to the school just talking about how embarrassing it was and how humiliating it was for them as a supporter, as a parent of the school. And then I even think that the other school says something as well. So when that's the case, yes, by all means, pull your child, but only if you have to, because of humiliation. Other than that, please, 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 it makes our job as coaches. We're trying to instill these things into our young people. But then when you bail them out, then it doesn't help. It makes for adults who quit, like, quite honestly, and we don't want that. So I don't know, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. Is there ever a time that you believe that it's okay to pull a kid? As a coach, how do you view this? Are you okay with it, or does it drive you bananas like it does me? Another thing is, I hate when kids take off their jerseys at the end of the game. No, not at the end of the game, but like in the middle of the game, at the end of the game, like when a game has just started and they're frustrated and just take off their jerseys, you're quitting on me. I don't want no quitters on my team. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments.